Hi everyone, thanks for coming back for part 3. In my last video I was going over this article over here that's about the tzitzit and the talit, which was this prayer shawl that the Israelites were commanded to wear, and they were commanded to have these fringes and these tassels hanging down at the four corners, which are the tzitzit, and God had commanded Moses that one of these strands or one of these cords needed to be made out of blue dye, which was very costly and expensive. It says here that in 200 BC, 1 pound of blue dyed cloth was the equivalent of $36,000, and by 300 AD it cost $96,000. And so I just wanted to repeat that because I had left out the dollars earlier when I read that. But as you can see, it was very expensive to make this blue dye, and God had commanded that one of these cords be made out of blue dye. So as you can see here, one of the cords is blue. Now another reason why I believe this color, the color blue, represents God is because this is the color that Satan is missing, according to this article over here, which I found because I was looking into the word jacinth, which is actually a variation of the word hyacinth, and I want to talk about that word a little bit more and where it's used in the scriptures. But for now, I just want to read this article and just go over it so you can see that this seems to be the color that Satan is missing. And this is a picture of the woman on the beast, and as you can see, she has no blue, and it's saying here blue is missing. Why? The mystery woman is described in her appearance in Revelation 17:4. It says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth." Her city is described also in terms of commerce. In Revelation 18:12, it says, "The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble." The city of woman again described in colors and fine linen. In Revelation 18:16 it says, "And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." In conclusion, the woman is represented by 3 colors: purple, scarlet, and gold, with fine linen and precious stones. If the woman's appearance, purple, scarlet, and gold, is compared to what the ancient Hebrew high priest wore, the tabernacle and the gate to the tabernacle, one can see a similarity. There is a difference also. The color blue is included in the garments for the tabernacle and the gate. The gate into the tabernacle itself had 3 colors made of fine linen. The gate was also of 3 main colors, also called the way. In Exodus 38:18 it says, "And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height and the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court." Recall that Jesus also called himself the way. In John 14:6, Jesus saith unto him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." The high priest wore 3 unique vestments in Exodus 28, and that's where one of the matrices came up. That was over here where I had put in the terms twine and helix, or in other words double helix, and the word helix came up right where it has the words blue, purple, and scarlet. And then you see the word bond coming straight up and down, right where it says that it may be joined together. And as you can see, this was coming up in Exodus 28. Okay, so it says here the high priest wore 3 unique vestments: the ephod, the breastplate, and the me'il, the robe. Purposes given to remember Israel in mind, keep Israel in his heart, and to announce the completion of his duty. With regard to the ephod, it states, place the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as remembrance stones for the children of Israel. Aaron shall carry their names on his 2 shoulders before God as a remembrance. At the conclusion of the command of the breastplate, it states, Aaron will thus carry the names of the children of Israel on the decision breastplate over his heart. When he enters the sanctuary, it shall be a constant remembrance before God. Concerning the robe, it says, Aaron shall wear it when he performs the service. The sound of the bells shall be heard when he enters the sanctuary before God and when he leaves. 3 garments of high priest, 4 colors, not 3 like the woman, and fine linen. So in Exodus 39, 1 through 2, it says, and of the blue and purple and scarlet they made cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen. The robe of the ephod was also blue. In Exodus 28:31, it says, and thou shalt make the robe of the ephod all of blue. The pomegranates were also blue, purple, and scarlet with bells of gold. In Exodus 28:33, it says, and beneath upon the hem of it thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. In Exodus 28:35 it says, and it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goes into the holy place before the Lord, and when he cometh out, that he die not. And then 4 says precious stones. Regarding precious stones on the woman, the exact ones and number of them is not mentioned, only that they are present. However, comparing to ancient descriptions of the holy and unholy, we can also see a difference. The ephod had 12 precious stones. The stones on the true ephod are found in Exodus 28:17 through 21. Here are the stones as they are listed there. Row 1, sardius, topaz, and carbuncle. Row 2, emerald, sapphire, and diamond. Row 3, ligure, agate, amethyst. Row 4, beryl, onyx, and jasper. However, the counterfeit priest Lucifer has an incomplete set, only 9. In Ezekiel 28:13 describes the stones that the ephod of Lucifer has, and 3 are missing. There is no pattern to the laying out of the stones as to rows. They are simply described. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Lucifer has 9 of the 12 stones: the sardius, topaz, diamond, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, carbuncle, laid in gold, a false divinity, a false religion. Lucifer lacks the ligure, agate, and the amethyst. Blue is missing from the woman. So the garments of the high priest include purple, scarlet, and blue, but blue is notably absent in the description of the woman. in Revelation 17. Revelation 17:4, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. The Bible even tells us the spiritual meaning of the color blue: obedience to God's commandments. In Numbers 15:38, says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue." In Numbers 15:39, it says, "And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring." And then in Deuteronomy 22:12, it says, "And thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith you cover thyself." The fringes or borders of the prayer garment, which contain the blue thread, also represent Messiah the healer. In Malachi 4:2, it says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall." The Hebrew word for wings is kanaf, a wing, extremity, edge, winged border, corner, or shirt, a wing, an extremity, a skirt, a corner of a garment. Meaning of the four colors and the four Gospels: blue is the Son of God, Messiah, in John; purple, the King, in Matthew; red, scarlet, Savior, Luke; gold, holiness unto the Lord; perfect, Son of Man, Mark. Why woman is missing the blue? The woman is false or incomplete religion. It represents itself as from God, divine, and having the authority of a king and even a savior, but it sheds blood rather than being covered by it in Jesus' name. It presents an incomplete ephod, precious stones to the world. It denies that Jesus is the Son of God and Messiah, thus denying the power of God. It disobeys God and his commandments. It is lacking in its duty to God. It does not keep Israel in remembrance as it comes before the Lord. Blue is a universal symbol of heaven and the sea, calmness, peace. Blue is seen as trustworthy, dependable, and committed. But whatever interpretation is assigned to the color, the woman is still missing something in the complete wardrobe of God. She may appear righteous and have power, but she lacks Jesus, so lacks the way to heaven. She is an incomplete priest. Remember, the tabernacle gate to the presence of God also had blue, purple, and red. Unless the gate is complete, or you have the right gate, one cannot enter the tabernacle. Unless we have Jesus, Son of God, as Savior, we cannot enter heaven and come before the Father. Jesus is the only way. And so this is why I believe that Jesus' blood is represented by the color blue, or at least his DNA is represented by the color blue, because this is a color that was missing from the description of Jesus' robe. It was described as being either scarlet or purplish or purple color, but it wasn't described as blue in any of the Gospels. In Luke 23:11, it was described as being a shining color or iridescent, which probably represents the clearness that was talked about in Exodus 24. When Moses and the 70 elders went up the mountain and saw God, and underneath his feet was, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in its clearness. I believe this represents the clearness, but there was no specific mention of the color blue, so I believe this was provided by Jesus' blood that was shed on the cross and that mixed in with the robe. So like I said earlier, I believe this explanation right here was probably one of the most valid because he's talking about Jesus's blood blending in with the color of the robe. And I'm about out of time, so I'll have to continue with more in the next video. Thank you.